Have you ever watched someone you love grow older, and noticed little changes that at first, you brushed off as just part of getting old? You know, the things you think are just normal signs of aging? But then, as time goes on, you start to wonder, could it actually be something more? What if, by not paying attention to those signs, we're unknowingly speeding up their decline? Let me paint a picture for you. Imagine your grandmother, someone who's always been active and loved her daily morning walks, suddenly begins to complain about joint pain. Or she mentions feeling unusually tired after just a short stroll. Is this just the body slowing down, or is there something deeper happening here? What if I told you that walking, something we often think of as healthy and essential, could actually be making her age faster? This is something many families don't know. But it's a reality we need to understand. Taking care of elderly loved ones is one of the most important responsibilities we face in life. We want to make sure their later years are as comfortable, peaceful, and fulfilling as possible. But it's not always easy to know when things are slipping, when changes in their behavior or health could be warning signs that need attention. Recognizing these signs early, before they become bigger issues, can make a huge difference in the care you provide. It means fewer trips to the hospital, less pain, and a better quality of life. More importantly, it means they can enjoy their golden years with more comfort and dignity. So, if you've ever wondered if something you're seeing in your elderly loved one is a sign of aging or something more serious, you're in the right place. By the end of this video, you'll understand how walking, which we all thought was helping, can actually age someone faster after 70. And I'm going to show you healthier alternatives that will keep your loved one mobile, happy, and thriving, without the risks. It's not just about keeping them active, but doing it the right way. If you're ready to learn more about how to care for your elderly loved ones, comment "I'm here" below, and let's start this conversation. Don't forget to subscribe for more insightful tips on elderly care and how to keep your family safe and healthy. Together, we can make their later years the best they've ever been. Picture this: your father, a man who's always taken pride in his daily walks, his routine. He used to glide through the neighborhood with ease, the kind of guy who'd chat with neighbors and enjoy his morning strolls. But lately, after just a short walk, he comes home winded, his joints aching, and he even mentions feeling dizzy. You start thinking, maybe it's just old age catching up with him. But what if it's not just that? What if all those walks, the thing he's done to stay active, are actually hurting him more than helping him? As we get older, our bodies change. Walking, which is usually seen as a simple, healthy activity, can actually become a double-edged sword if overdone. When we push ourselves too hard without taking proper rest or using the right footwear, it can lead to muscle strain and joint wear. Our muscles and bones, which aren't as strong as they once were, become more susceptible to damage. And here's the kicker: the more we overuse them, the faster they break down. What might feel like a harmless daily walk could actually be accelerating the aging process, particularly when it comes to the knees, hips, and spine. Those are the first to pay the price. I know it sounds counterintuitive. You've probably heard the idea that the more you walk, the healthier you get, right? It's a common belief. People assume that more walking means more strength, more stamina, and better health. But here's the truth: pushing too hard can lead to joint pain, muscle fatigue, and even injury. It's a cycle that ends up making them age faster, not slower. Think about it: if your father keeps walking through the pain, thinking it's just a part of getting older, he's likely doing more harm than good. And while he may still get some benefits, the risks start to outweigh the rewards. So, what's the solution? The good news is, it's not about stopping the walks altogether. It's about finding the right balance. Instead of insisting on long, daily walks, encourage your loved one to take shorter, more frequent walks. It's a lot gentler on the body. And don't forget to include some stretching exercises before and after. Those little moments of flexibility will keep the muscles and joints limber, and that's key. Low-impact activities are also a game changer. Swimming, for example, is fantastic. It's easy on the joints while still offering a great cardiovascular workout. Cycling is another one to consider. It's a wonderful alternative that keeps the body moving without the added strain on the joints. And here's the thing, walking isn't the only activity that can have unintended consequences as we age. There's another common mistake many people make when caring for the elderly that can lead to bigger problems. Let's take a closer look at that next. Now, let's think about your grandmother. She's always been the active type, someone who's never liked to sit still. But here's the thing, she's been walking every day, even when her legs are sore, even when she's exhausted. She brushes it off, saying, "It's just a little tiredness, I'll be fine." But day after day, she pushes herself. And while she's trying to stay strong, she's overlooking something crucial, her body's need for rest. Have you noticed how she won't take a break, no matter how tired she gets? She insists that resting means giving in, so she keeps going, ignoring the signs her body's giving her. But in doing so, she's putting herself at risk. And here's the hard truth, rest is something she needs to be doing, but it's the one thing she won't allow herself. As we get older, our bodies need more time to recover. That's not something we can avoid. When we exercise, whether it's walking, running, or any physical activity, we're putting stress on our muscles, joints, and tissues. And while that stress can build strength, it can also lead to wear and tear. Without sufficient recovery time, the body starts to break down faster than it can rebuild. Think of it like this, when you don't give your muscles the rest they need, they become overstrained, and inflammation kicks in. This leads to stiffness, pain, and even quicker degeneration of the joints. Over time, the body becomes less able to bounce back from even simple tasks, leading to a cycle of exhaustion and discomfort that doesn't improve without proper rest. Many people, especially in their 70s and beyond, think that staying active every single day is the key to health. But here's the thing that gets overlooked, rest is just as important as exercise. There's this idea that slowing down or taking a break means giving up, but that couldn't be further from the truth. The truth is, constantly pushing the body without giving it time to recover can cause more harm than good. If your loved one is not getting proper rest, they're more likely to experience chronic pain, joint issues, and even burnout. It's not a sign of weakness to rest, it's a sign of wisdom and understanding your body's needs. So, what can we do to help our elderly loved ones? It's actually pretty simple. Encourage them to take at least 1 or 2 full rest days each week. It's crucial to let their body recover. Rest doesn't mean doing nothing, it means giving their muscles and joints the time they need to heal. On those rest days, they can still do gentle activities that don't put too much strain on the body. Stretching, for example, is an excellent way to keep the muscles flexible and loose without pushing them to the limit. Even something as simple as light yoga can be a great way to stay active while allowing the body to rest. It's all about balance, keeping them moving, but knowing when to let the body rest and rejuvenate. And while rest is absolutely essential, there's something else that can't be overlooked when it comes to maintaining mobility, hydration. Staying hydrated plays a huge role in keeping the body moving well and feeling strong. Let's dive into why hydration is so important, especially as we age. I've seen it happen more times than I can count. Your elderly loved one sets out for their usual walk, just like they've done for years, but something is different today. They're more tired than usual. They're slowing down. Maybe they're even complaining about cramping or feeling faint. You might wonder what's going on. It's easy to think, it's just the heat or they didn't sleep well. But what if the problem isn't something that obvious? What if it's something as simple as them not drinking enough water? It sounds trivial, right? But dehydration can sneak up on them, and before they know it, they're dealing with muscle weakness and exhaustion. It's one of the hidden causes that many people overlook, but the impact it has on their health is huge. As we age, our bodies go through all kinds of changes. One of the most significant, and often overlooked, changes is a reduction in our thirst reflex. What that means is, as we get older, our bodies don't always signal when we're thirsty, or when we need more fluids. You might think your loved one is staying hydrated just because they're not complaining of thirst, but dehydration can be silently at work. And when your elderly loved one isn't drinking enough, it can wreak havoc on their body in so many ways. It affects circulation, which makes it harder for blood to flow freely. It impacts joint lubrication, leaving the body more prone to stiffness and pain. Most importantly, dehydration hits muscle function hard, causing fatigue and even cramping, which makes something as simple as a walk feel like a marathon. Now, a lot of people think dehydration is just about having dry skin or a dry mouth. And sure, those are obvious signs, but dehydration goes so much deeper than that. It's not just about feeling thirsty, it's about what it does to the body on the inside. When your loved one is dehydrated, it can make their muscles weaker and less responsive. That means simple tasks, like getting up from a chair or walking around the house, become harder and harder. It also leads to fatigue, something that makes them want to sit down more often and do less. If we're not mindful of hydration, it can turn into a vicious cycle of more sitting, less movement, and further decline. So, what can you do to help? The answer is simple: remind them to drink water. I know it sounds like common sense, but it's something we can easily forget, especially if they're not complaining of thirst. Encourage your loved ones to drink water regularly throughout the day, not just when they're thirsty. And here's a good tip: make sure they're hydrating before and after any physical activity. A glass of water before a walk can help prevent dehydration from creeping in. And when they're done, encourage them to drink again. This simple step can significantly improve their endurance, help prevent fatigue, and keep their muscles and joints working properly. Hydration is a game changer when it comes to mobility, but there's another factor that can make a big difference in how your loved one moves, and that's posture. Poor posture during walking can lead to a lot of pain and strain, and it can actually make things worse. Let's take a closer look at why good posture matters so much. Have you ever watched an elderly loved one walk, and noticed that they're slouched over, shoulders hunched forward, or their back arched in a way that doesn't look natural? At first, you might think, oh, that's just part of getting older. After all, we often expect aging bodies to come with some changes, like slower movements or minor stiffness. But here's the thing: poor posture while walking is much more than just an aging thing. It's a major factor that can lead to serious long-term consequences. Imagine how many times they've walked like this, day after day, putting unnecessary strain on their spine, muscles, and joints. Over time, this slumping can turn into chronic back pain, neck issues, and even more severe complications like herniated discs or arthritis flare-ups. Let's break it down a little. When we walk, our bodies are meant to be aligned. But when poor posture creeps in, the entire body shifts. The spine, which is naturally curved, is put under more stress than it can handle, and that stress spreads throughout the body, affecting the joints, muscles, and ligaments. When the body is out of alignment, it makes each step harder and more painful. Over time, this misalignment can lead to stiffness, chronic pain, and faster wear on the bones and muscles. Think about it like this: if you bend a paperclip back and forth over and over again, eventually, it's going to break. Well, your joints and spine work similarly. Constant misuse due to poor posture can lead to early degeneration, and that's something we can easily prevent by making small adjustments. It's easy to dismiss poor posture as just a normal part of aging, right? Many elderly people don't even realize how much their slumping affects their body. They might think, well, this is just the way it is now. It's just getting older. But that belief couldn't be further from the truth. The truth is, when they walk hunched over, they're making things worse, day after day. It's not something they should just accept. Poor posture doesn't have to be part of the aging process. In fact, the body is capable of adjusting and maintaining good posture even in our later years, but it requires awareness and intentional action. So, what can we do to help? The first step is simply encouraging better posture. This doesn't mean telling your loved one to sit up straight or walk taller, because that can sometimes feel like a reprimand. Instead, start with gentle posture correction exercises. You can begin with simple stretches that help loosen up the shoulders and back. A physical therapist can also work with your loved one to improve their alignment, making them feel more comfortable as they move. It's not about turning them into a gymnast, but it is about helping them walk with an upright posture to avoid unnecessary strain on the body. When they walk with good posture, it will protect their joints, ease pain, and improve overall mobility. In fact, maintaining an upright posture is one of the most important things they can do to preserve their joint health. Now that we've touched on posture, there's another key factor that's equally important when it comes to maintaining mobility as we age: balance. Without proper balance, even the best posture won't make a difference. Let's dive into that next, and explore how balance plays a critical role in preventing falls and maintaining independence. Have you ever noticed your elderly parent, or maybe even a close friend, start to stagger a bit more than usual while walking? At first, you might think, it's nothing to worry about, maybe they just had an off day. But the truth is, balance issues can sometimes be the first sign that something more serious is going on. It's easy to brush it off as part of getting older, but the reality is, declining balance is one of the most significant predictors of falls in the elderly, and falls can lead to major injuries, things like fractures, hip injuries, or even head trauma. So, what might seem like a small, unimportant change can actually be a red flag that shouldn't be ignored. As we age, one of the things that naturally happens is that our proprioception begins to decline. Proprioception is our ability to sense where our body is in space. It's that inner awareness of how our limbs are positioned and how we're moving. This skill, which we often take for granted, becomes less sharp as we get older. When proprioception weakens, our balance suffers, and without the ability to detect shifts in our body's position, the risk of losing our balance increases. Suddenly, those simple movements, like stepping off a curb or walking across the room, become more hazardous. Without proper balance, even the smallest misstep can cause a fall, and the consequences can be devastating, especially as the body takes longer to recover from injuries. A lot of people mistakenly think that balance issues are just a normal part of aging. Oh, they're getting older, so it's to be expected, some might say. And while it's true that balance can decline with age, it's not something that should simply be accepted or ignored. Many people overlook the fact that balance exercises can make a huge difference. Yes, as we age, our muscles and joints lose some strength and flexibility, but that doesn't mean we can't maintain our balance with the right exercises and precautions. In fact, balance issues can be greatly reduced by staying proactive about it, and the sooner we address them, the better. So, what can you do if you notice your loved one having trouble with their balance? Well, the first thing is not to panic, but to take action. One of the most effective ways to improve balance is through simple exercises. For example, standing on one foot for a few seconds at a time can do wonders for improving stability. It's easy to do at home, and it doesn't require any special equipment. You can even make a game out of it by turning it into a daily challenge. Tai Chi is another fantastic option. It's a low-impact exercise that focuses on slow, controlled movements and has been shown to significantly improve balance and reduce fall risks. If balance continues to be a concern, don't hesitate to use walking aids like a cane or walker. These can provide the extra support needed to stay steady on their feet. It's not about making them feel weak, it's about giving them the confidence and stability to move around safely. Now that we've covered balance, let's take a step back and look at a more holistic approach to staying healthy as we age. It's not just about physical activity, there are other factors that come into play when it comes to maintaining mobility, strength, and overall well-being. Let's dive into that next. Watching our loved ones age is never easy. It's one of those things that brings both love and pain. You see them go from being the pillars of strength in your life to needing more care and support, and sometimes, it feels overwhelming. The changes they go through, whether it's slower walking, more fatigue, or trouble with balance, can be hard to watch. But here's the thing, understanding these signs and the impact they have on their health gives us the tools we need to help them. It's the power of knowledge. We don't have to feel helpless. Instead, we can act with love and support. We can make sure that they live their best life possible, even in their later years. It's difficult to accept that someone we love may not be able to walk as freely as they once did. It's a change that shakes us to the core. The thought of them not being able to move around without struggle can bring up feelings of fear and sadness. But here's the silver lining. Taking small, thoughtful steps can help them age with grace. We can improve their mobility, reduce their pain, and help them live with more joy and comfort. Aging doesn't have to mean a decline in quality of life. It can be a beautiful chapter filled with peace and dignity if we approach it with the right care and attention. Instead of feeling helpless when you notice these signs, take a deep breath and shift your mindset. This isn't just about worrying, this is an opportunity to act. It's about proactively making small adjustments to improve your loved one's health, comfort, and well-being. Every small change you make, whether it's encouraging hydration, improving posture, or taking more rest, has the potential to make their daily life easier. These are the kinds of actions that add up over time, creating a positive difference. Knowledge is power, and now that you have this understanding, you can feel empowered to make a difference. You don't need to be overwhelmed or scared about the future. Instead, you can be prepared. You can be their advocate, their caregiver, and their guide as they navigate through these changes. With the right information, you can help ensure that your loved one enjoys their later years with far less pain and far more joy. It's all about knowing what to do, when to act, and how to offer your support. You can do this. And trust me, they'll be grateful for the care and attention you're offering. If you've noticed any of these signs in someone you love, take a moment today to check in on them. This doesn't mean waiting until things get worse. Taking action today can make all the difference in their quality of life tomorrow. Have a conversation with them about their health, encourage them to hydrate, ask if they're feeling any discomfort or changes in their walking or posture. These simple conversations can be life-changing, because the sooner you catch these things, the more you can do to help them. Take action. Remind them of how much you care, and let them know they're not alone in this journey. If you've noticed any of these signs in someone you love, take a moment today to check in on them. This doesn't mean waiting until things get worse. Taking action today can make all the difference in their quality of life tomorrow. Have a conversation with them about their health, encourage them to hydrate, ask if they're feeling any discomfort or changes in their walking or posture. These simple conversations can be life-changing, because the sooner you catch these things, the more you can do to help them. Take action. Remind them of how much you care, and let them know they're not alone in this journey. We all want the best for our elderly loved ones. They've been there for us, they've given us their love, wisdom, and guidance, and now it's our turn to do the same for them. It's not always easy, but by staying informed and taking those small, simple actions, we can ensure that their golden years are filled with peace, comfort, and even joy. Caring for someone in their later years can be challenging, yes, but it's also incredibly rewarding. You have the power to make their world a little brighter, a little safer, and a lot more comfortable. Keep moving forward with patience and compassion, and know that you're doing the best thing you can for them. To recap everything we've discussed today, we've covered some critical signs to look out for when it comes to aging and mobility. Overdoing walking, neglecting rest days, not staying hydrated, bad posture, and declining balance can all accelerate the aging process in our elderly loved ones. These aren't just minor issues. They're key factors that can make a big difference in their quality of life. So, if you notice any of these signs in someone you care about, don't ignore them. Act early, make those small changes, and you could help improve their comfort, mobility, and health. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Which of these signs have you noticed in an elderly loved one? Have you experienced any of these changes in someone close to you? Comment below and let's start a conversation. Your experiences and insights could help others who might be going through the same thing. Let's support each other and learn from one another. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Which of these signs have you noticed in an elderly loved one? Have you experienced any of these changes in someone close to you? Comment below and let's start a conversation. Your experiences and insights could help others who might be going through the same thing. Let's support each other and learn from one another. If you found this video helpful and want more tips on how to care for your elderly loved ones, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give this video a like. By subscribing to Seniors Care, you'll get more valuable insights into elderly care, health tips, and practical advice for keeping your family healthy and happy. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, even small changes can make a huge impact when it comes to caring for those we love. Stay strong, stay informed, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care of yourself and those around you, because the best care comes from understanding, love, and action.